everyone, and welcome to another movie review. Now this one's a little different because we are going to review the Monday Mystery Movie from Regal Cinemas. If you're unfamiliar with what that is, at least once a month, sometimes twice, Regal lets you see a movie before its release date for $5. The only catch is you don't get to know what the movie is beforehand. Now you can guess and speculate, but you really won't know until it starts playing in the theater. And for $5, it's a pretty good deal. I have done it twice in the past, and I wasn't too thrilled with the movies that I watched. They were both made for streaming Apple movies that I literally had no interest in. The first one was The Greatest Beer Run Ever, and the second one was Spirited, which is a Christmas musical. So I did not enjoy those two. So I basically stopped going to them because I was like, I don't really want to see a bunch of streaming movies on the big screen. However, I did hear most recently that they have been showing some actual theater movies during this experience. So I thought I'd give it another chance and check it out. So, what was Monday's mystery movie? It was, drumroll please, Dumb Money. Now, Dumb Money is a movie that I literally had zero interest in watching, mostly because it's about a topic that just happened recently, and I didn't really think it was necessary to make a movie about it, and it just wasn't really my type of movie. But as part of the Mystery Movie Monday, you get what you get. So that's what we're going to review today. Dumb Money is the ultimate David versus Goliath tale, based on the insane true story of everyday people who flipped the script on Wall Street and got rich by turning GameStop, yes, the mall video game store, into the world's hottest company. In the middle of everything is the regular guy Keith Gill, played by Paul Dano, who starts it all by sinking his life savings into the stock and posting about it. When his social posts start blowing up, so does his life and the lives of everyone following him. As a stock tip becomes a movement, everyone gets rich until the billionaires fight back and both sides find their worlds turned upside down. As I stated before, this movie to me just felt a little unnecessary. The events of the movie take place over 2020 through 2021, so barely 2 to 3 years ago. So to have a movie written, approved, filmed, and financed, edited, and released in such a small frame of time, it just seems really odd. And that's really one of the main reasons why I had no interest in seeing the movie, is because I lived it. It happened 2 years ago, and since I'm a person on social media, I saw it all the time. I don't know all the intimate ins and outs of it, but I know enough of it to where I don't need to see a movie about it. And that's why, to me, this movie didn't have a lot of drama, because I already knew what was going to happen. I already know the end results of the whole movie. So it's kind of like watching Titanic. You know the boat is going to sink at the end.
Spoiler alert.
But it's the journey that you're there for, the experience of getting on the ship, life on the ship, and then death. So I was thinking about that when I was watching this movie, but again, I already knew all the inside steps to it, so there really didn't add much else to the story that I didn't already know. And to top it off, I already knew the ending of the story. I knew what would happen to the hedge fund managers. I knew what would happen to the guy in the movie himself, Keith Gill. So to me, it wasn't a surprise when the ending came up and they gave a little information blurbs, but you could definitely hear the collective, "Oh," from the audience when the information came up on the screen that no charges were filed. Plus, there wasn't even any meaningful legislation that came out of it. So this movie has a lot of characters in it, and it can be a little overwhelming for some people. I didn't think it was that big of a deal. They don't get too in-depth into a lot of these characters' backgrounds. They introduce them, they show why they're interested in buying the stock, and then they kind of give you little parts of their adventure as the story progresses. The main thing that I liked about all these characters is that they're from all walks of life, because that really shows how this movement was universal. This whole buying of GME stock was a really big deal, and it really scared a lot of the people on Wall Street, because you had people, nurses, students, and employees, retail employees, buying into the stock and driving its value up. And when you have that, it really just kind of shows the unity of the community, of us versus them, right? We the poors against the bourgeoisie. And I think that is really what shines through in this movie. However, the main character, Keith Gill, played by Paul Dano, was probably the least compelling character in the movie, which is really odd to say since he is the main character. Paul Dano plays him very uncharismatic. He's just kind of a bump on a log. He always seems like he's exasperated and exhausted. He's just, oh, my stocks. the bonds, the market. Now, if this is actually how Keith Gill is, the guy who the character is based on, then he hit the nail on the head. But I don't know anything about that. But from a movie standpoint, it doesn't really translate well on the screen, and it just kind of leaves you feeling underwhelmed and looking forward to his interactions with other people who could bring more energy to the movie. So there's another aspect of the movie I just didn't quite understand. As we're introduced to Keith, he seems to be really, really obsessed with running, like exercise. And there's at least half a dozen or more scenes of his character running. And we don't really find out why he's running so much until almost to the near end of the movie, which seems like a really odd time to introduce a new plot point. So it just felt really odd, like, oh, here's the main character again. He's running in short shorts and he's timing himself, but we don't really see what he's timing. And that could have been completely remedied with just a simple conversation between him and any other number of characters that would just explain why he's running all the time. Unless I did do that and I missed it. So visually, the movie was perfectly fine. There were some interesting creative shots here and there. A lot of the movie had this very blue-gray tone to it, which just made it feel like an overcast winter day. And it just kind of drowned out the colors of all the scenes. And any scenes that didn't take place in that environment, all the colors still seemed kind of muted. Not that I'm expecting a Technicolor Dreamcoat type of experience. It just felt more drab, and it really set the mood to be more depressing than it really should have been. Because there were some exciting moments in the movie that they were trying to pep you up with, but just having the whole monotone looking color scheme just kind of took away from that excitement. The movie did have a really good soundtrack, a lot of fun songs to really bring you into the story. I even stayed during the credits to listen to the White Stripes. It was a really good use of sound and music to try to keep the story a bit more coherent to move from plot point to plot point. Now, time for the rating. Is this a bad movie? No, I wouldn't say it's a bad movie. I just personally had no investment in it. I had no interest in seeing it, so I already had a bit of a predisposition to the movie when I saw what it was going to be. But that's the price you pay for Mystery Movie Monday. On a more personal scale, I give it a 5 out of 10. Just because I already knew what was happening, I already knew the results, and the story for me just wasn't driving enough interest in it to kind of pull me back in. It felt like somebody just retelling me what they read on TikTok, but on the big screen. But don't let my rating discourage you from seeing it. The movie itself is probably about a 7, 7.5. It's just that my interest in the movie was just so low, and I already knew it was going to happen. So if you don't know much about the GameStop situation, you may enjoy it a lot more than I did. So, did you see the Mystery Movie Monday movie, Dumb Money? If so, let me know what you thought about it in the comments below. And as usual, please like, comment, and subscribe so I can continue to bring you fantastic content just like this. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye. Guys, I just want to tell you about the GameStop stock. It's undervalued and cool, and you should buy it.
Shut up and take my money.
You know, like, here's a chart.
Money, 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 money,
cool.
money.
And you know, I just like it.